Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Couch TCG Tournament 2 from Season 2 review. I am very excited to show you guys what is coming up right now from our winners who need some recognition. They need some credit alongside the 200 codes they get. And if you like this video, please leave a subscription and hit that notification bell, and I'll work even harder for you. So let's get into this. All right, everyone, welcome to my Couch TCG tournament results for Season 2, Tournament 2. And without further ado, let's look at the results. So let's look at the meta forecast first. As you can see, Charizard did really well with 17 picks. 14 picks belongs to Miraidon, and Regidrago with other decks shared its space for third at 11, while Gardy and Roaring Moon sit at the lower end with only 8 and 7 picks out of the entire tournament, plus some other decks that didn't do, the big top decks, but it's pretty good. Meta share analysis. So these are the reasons why I think that these 6 decks were played the most in this tournament. With Charizard, easy to pick up and play. Well, I mean, unless you're me, then you're pretty bad at the game. Just kidding. But it's a really well-known deck. Everybody knows what Charizard does, and with its broken abilities like Dusk Noir and its own abilities and Pidgeot, it's just an easy, I want to play this deck. And Tor didn't do bad with it at Worlds either, getting 10th place. Miraidon getting 2nd for the meta share. It's got a fast setup, lots of people who believe in its ability to win, and it's a very consistent deck, always getting the cards you need, even with Electro Generator. Just amazing deck. Regidrago just has such a big variety of attacks, meaning it's very adaptable to many situations. And it's just got great supporters like Professor's Research that it can abuse and use because it pairs well with, Regidrago's attack. And the other third place tie I said it twice, but creativity is more accessible now. There are lots of ways to beat these decks, especially mostly because, they're very easy to forecast, which I did spell wrong there, but it's okay. But the meta is really easy to forecast now. Everybody's playing an EX. There's no one prize deck that everybody needs to think about, and just get those basics. I mean, Gardivior is kind of there with the 2 prize, 1 prize, but Gardy can always be gusted. And speaking of Gardy, we got her in 4th place. Very high skill ceiling, which is probably appealing to a lot of people. It's got a great prize trade, speed, so it usually wins because it's got the 1 prizer that's doing heavy damage while it's taking out 2 prizers. And Gardy can just go all over the board. It can do lots of things. It feels very fluid, especially because Stall is gone for the most part. And then Roaring Moon EX is 5th, and I would say that its energy acceleration, every turn feeling good, and high damage output are just still really just fresh in the player's eyes after Worlds, pretty much just able to get those 1-hit KOs, as well as doing those 220 damages. And with Pecharunt, it's easy to just move it all over the board and just hit with more damage, especially with the new Binding Mochi card that can make it do 40 more damage for 260. Now, let's see how the top 8 compares. So now we got our top 8 decks. So we've got 8th place. We got a Regidrago deck, and I like to just do standouts now because the more I review these decks, the more similar they get. So I definitely want to try and see what I can find that stands out from now on. with here, I think it really is pushing for the Dragapolt as well as the Kira. I'm getting those 2 prize knockouts just out as quickly as possible because, Charizard dominates the meta as well as Gardivior. So with Kira, I'm just not even giving them a fighting chance. It's just nice to see more Dragapults being played in here just to help the meta. And then Radiant Zard, able to hit that 250, if Roaring Moon and Raging Bolt waste all their tools, end game, it's a really tough game, but, you can just swing with the Radiant Charizard with Energy Switch or anything like that in order to get its attack going and pretty much just able to get those smaller big basics, and that's what stood out to me about this deck. So 7th place, we got Shira. And we are playing with a Dragapolt deck. You don't see those too often. Everybody said that Dragapolt died out, but Shira was able to find a way to sneak herself back into the top 8. So what I like about this is that basically Dragapolt can just do a lot more damage. With Greninja and Dusknoir being there, just flooding the board with your opponent's board with damage counters everywhere, giving Dragapolt more leeway to have those 6 damage counters everywhere, as well as justifying its 200, as you're probably taking more than a couple of prizes with all that damage out. And I really like how Dragapult's biggest weakness, the ability to just get cards in its hand, seems like it's getting better because it's got Pheasantipity and Rotom together, as well as, Iono, and just getting its hand back together is just really nice. Those are the 2 things that stood out, as well as Mela, I forgot about that. But yeah, just getting those draw supports in, we really need those. Alright, for 6th place, we've got Pakento 23. Alright, let's see. Iron Hands. Oh boy. So this deck won Worlds, so people are trying it out now. And it's just nice to see a lot of energy wipes going back to the, energy removal days, but you still gotta, coin a flip. But it really does slow down Charizard, Miraidon, and Regidrago, really sweeping into the meta, just slowing them down, making their abilities less useful, and just helping itself continue to grow. And then number 2, the second thing that stood out to me was 3 Lost Cities being there just to get those stage 2 decks out of the way, and it's really nice because if they don't have their recovery, things to recover, they might as not even well play the game, especially things like Charizard, Regidrago, Gardevoir. Things in the Lost Zone really hurt those decks, so you just got to make sure that you get it as fast as possible out with Chorus's Tenacity. And for 5th place, we've got HG Higabon. HG 13. Okay. Let's see, they're playing a Miraidon deck. Super fast deck. Super ready to just get out there and make its day. Zapdos making its return. So Miraidon can hit for those 230 damages, as well as Iron Hands being able to hit other people's Greninjas for 130. But again, and Radiant Greninja has weakness, so I guess it really doesn't apply there. But anything with 130, gone. And it seems like Zapdos does the trick, or anything with 230 might as well, like Roaring Moon and Iron Hands, that if you're playing the mirror, Zapdos really helps with those situations. And Midnight Academy being in this deck is still very, very healthy to see in Miraidon, as it allows for an even faster acceleration of energies. And you're going to have like 2 or 3 energies in your hand, and you're just like, man, I wish I could just, put these on my Pokemon wheel with Midnight Academy. well, Academy at Night, whatever it's called, you can. And I think that's really, really good to have for a Miraidon deck. Alright, now we have got Jones Diaz, top 4 finalists of the Couch TCG deck. So, Hawlucha gets paired really well with Sableye here because Sableye can hit for 130 on the Greninjas if it has to. Whoever's still playing that. And then, you know, it can also deal with the 60, 70 HP routes or Charmander or Pidgeot combos. You know, just hitting for higher and higher so that it can be able to take more prize cards, getting it into the race. And then finally, with the Koraidon, it really does hit well, especially with Hawlucha getting those 290s for the Raging Bolt and the Roaring Moon 290s with the Bravery Charm and the Ancient Box. So that's always nice. It's just great to see Lost Box not completely out of the water just yet, giving it some last hurrahs in its dying days. Alright. Now we got 3rd place from the top 4 finalists, Riley Kline. And we got a pretty standard Charizard deck. Some standouts to me were Tord Reklev's Bidoof being in there, being able to hit those Roaring Moons for the, 30 damage that it would do if it knocks out something like a Rotom or a Lumineon. So it's really nice to see Bidoof in there thriving. And then something new that I see is a Thornton. It's great because it, you can get any basic to switch with another basic. So, you can get Pheasantipity out with a Pokemon with 3 energies and you can hit the opponent's bench as long as it's not a Terra. And then the Radiant Charizard going in there and sniping those last turn kills, with its amazing ability where it can cut its energy costs for its big 250 attack. So, Thornton just makes the deck a lot more versatile, and it's really nice to see it in a Charizard deck. And for 2nd place, we've got PokeheroDelta, the top 2 finalists. So we got a Gardivior deck, and it's really nice to see those high ceiling caps paying off, because Gardy is the hardest deck to play in this meta. The first standout is it would appear that 2 Monkey Dories and Gardevoir is the superior option, helping Gardy take off pressure from those Stage 2 decks by allowing 30 damage to go on to 1 Pokemon, taking out those 60 HP Pokemon. That could be trouble, especially Charizard, just Gardy getting through. That is great. Even in late game, they don't have an ability to set up. Charizard really likes to make itself its only attacker. And Mimikyu, just being able to trap against V and EX Pokemon, which seemed to be the meta. It's a great meta call, and this Gardy was really smart to be playing this deck. And it just has an out for late game and early game as well, just allowing the deck to either set up or recover its options. And finally, for 1st place, we got Fab Pokey number 9 as the Couch Champion. We are playing a Raging Bolt. It's crazy to think he's from Italy too. I think our last champion is from Italy as well. No, wait, no, he was from Bulgaria. So this is our first Italian champion. That's right. And let's see what stands out to me here. He has 1 boss and 3 Pokemon catchers. I think that's really good because if you start off with boss, you can boss something that might have to pressure your opponent to work a little harder. But, you can get those Pokemon catchers and Sadas at the same time, hoping that you that you flip the right way and you energy accelerate the right amount, and you can just keep, gusting your opponent and Sading every turn until finally, it's just mono, last cards in the prize race, and then suddenly you've got the boss's orders if you haven't used it at the beginning. Or you can just Pow Pad it again and then just get another boss. You never know. Pow Pad will come in somewhere. And then the other thing that stands out to me is it's a Raging Bolt deck that doesn't use Fluttermane or Baby Blood Moon, meaning it's a very tight deck. Having those extra options may be hindering this deck from reaching its full potential, Not even an iron bundle either, I forgot to mention, but this deck seems really tight. It seems like it doesn't have anything extra going on, and it seems to have worked. And we are very, very proud of our first place winner. So, anyways, I want to show you my top 8 thoughts for this meta. Number 1, Raging Bolt and Gardy seem to be the underdogs of Shrouded Fable, and they are underestimated by the community. It seems like nobody is really thinking, man, these two are getting, these are getting really pretty good now, so I've got to do something about it. No, they're just dead. Their assumption is that Guardian and Raging Bolt are not a problem, and you can see that the underdogs really do push it to a more surprising match for a normal person who's playing in a tournament, who thinks they know it all, that it's the Regidragos and the Iron Thorns. No, it's the Raging Bolts and the Guardian. Charizard seems like it's changing its secret formula, being able to just adapt with big basics with Thornton or, Bidoof, and it's helping it bring itself to the place that it's in. Lost Box and Dragapolt are very surprise appearances, because although Guardian, Raging Bolt, you see them a couple times, you just do not see Lost Box or Dragapolt anywhere near the Shrouded Fable format. And it's nice to know that some people are still being a little creative with it and helping it see its potential through. And finally, Miraidon, Iron Thorns, and Regidrago, the top 3 of Worlds, are most likely underperforming because more people are saying, hey, those 3 decks are really, really, really scary, and we need to find a way to beat them. And that's what a lot of these decks really did this format. And thank you guys so much for watching my PowerPoint presentation. The next tournament is on September 14th. And again, it's always 200 codes, and I'm very, very excited to see what comes next on our journey through the Pokemon TCG history. And if you haven't already, please give a subscription. I worked really hard on this PowerPoint presentation. And yeah, have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. And remember, the electric bill may be bad if you don't turn the lights off.